And every Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have, can anyone tell what we have? We have storytelling time. So this is a chance for everyone to spin their own narrative, pretty much based on some popular themes. And after you, the storytellers, have gotten a chance to give your take on a story, we have a little bit of judging. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's a little bit competitive. And here is where our judges, our lovely judges, will pop in, give their feedback, and declare a winner for the episode. And a happy Valentine's to everyone. I know a lot of people are in an event or they're doing something special for this Valentine's Day weekend. So I'm hoping that everyone stay blessed and their bundles of joy and their baskets of joy are just overflowing for this beautiful Valentine's upcoming event. So welcome, ladies and gentlemen. And at this time, would all of the storytellers, all of my storytellers, please request the box? The storytellers will be boxing up after our introduction, and they will be giving their take on this episode of The Princess and the Frog. What will they create? What will it be? Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, here is our introduction. And please, all of the storytellers, please request the box. Ladies and gentlemen, that was just our introduction for today. If this is your first time joining us, thank you so much. And please remember to hit that star above my name. Please hit me up with a favorite. Also, please favorite my top 3 supporters of the stream. At the end of the episode, whoever is the number 1 supporter of the stream will become my gold king or gold queen. You get 3 days of that name being next to mine as a gold king or queen. Also, there's a shout out on IG. So if you'd like to hit that spot, just make sure you're the top gifter at the end of this episode. Well, time for what we've all been waiting for. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, may I please introduce our first guest, starting us off, top badge, Director Riot. He's going to briefly introduce himself. At that time, ladies and gentlemen, please make sure you're hitting him up with a favorite, and he will give his take on the Princess and the Frog.
What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? If y'all don't know who I am, man, I'm Director Riot, Mr. POF, and yeah. So I'm just gonna go into it. I'm just gonna go into it. I love The Princess and the Frog. First of all, it's like one of my favorite Disney movies, and happy Black History Month to each and every last one of you. So here's my take on The Princess and the Frog. All right. Once upon a time, there lived a young girl named Abigail from New York City. She was from the Bronx. Abigail was a brave and adventurous girl who loved to explore the world around her. One day, Abigail was walking through Central Park when she stumbled upon a mysterious pond. As she peered into the pond, she noticed a small frog swimming around. Abigail was intrigued and decided to take the frog home with her. When Abigail arrived home, she placed the frog in a bowl of water and watched it as it transformed into a beautiful princess. The princess told Abigail that she had been cursed by an evil witch and was trapped in the form of a frog until someone could break the spell. Abigail was determined to help the princess and set off on an adventure to find the witch. Along the way, she encountered many obstacles and faced many dangers. But with her courage and determination, Abigail was able to overcome them all. Finally, Abigail reached the witch's castle and confronted her. After a long and difficult battle, Abigail was able to break the spell and the princess was free. The princess thanked Abigail for her bravery and courage and offered her a reward. Abigail asked for nothing in return, but the princess insisted and gave her a magical necklace that she would grant her three wishes. Abigail thanked the princess and returned home. She used her wishes to help those in need and to make the world a better place. The princess and Abigail remain friends, and the princess often visit Abigail in New York City. They share many adventures together, and Abigail was always grateful for the princess's friendship. Thank you.
No, thank you. If anyone is
I had
tuning
to
in for the
condense it.
first time, please make sure you are favoriting Top Badge, Director Ryder. And if you stay tuned to the end, he's going to be dropping his newly recreated gift. So we don't want to miss that one.
Nobody said none of
And
that. Hold
yeah,
on.
and
Nobody.
he's going to be dropping his newly recreated, reconstructed. And I understand it's even more lit than the first time. Make sure y'all stick around for that part. Ladies and gentlemen, please, please welcome my next guest, Player Dove. Please make sure you're hitting up with a favorite. And Player Dove, why don't you briefly introduce yourself? And if you can just jump right into your story and take on The Princess and the Frog.
Okay. Hi, I'm Player Dove. I don't really have a set stream schedule. You just have to fave me and catch me when you can. I do have an event this evening at 7 p.m. I am in a battle royale against top streamer Dale. Love gifts only. I am excited to be here. Very nervous to tell you the story about my lovely grandmother, the princess. So, her book has been published around the world in many, many, many different countries. Her story has been told over different versions, but I'm going to tell you what really happened. So one day, her and her sister just sitting along the bench. They were playing by the water and they saw this lovely little frog that hopped by. And she said, "Ew, look, there's a frog." But her sister said, "Oh, that is a cute frog." They made a bet to see who could catch the frog first and kiss it and make a wish to set it free because the princess's sister The princess's father wanted to actually cook that frog. Frog legs. We love them. So they caught the frog. My grandmother actually was the one who had to kiss the frog because her sister tripped and fell and hit her head on a rock. But it's okay because they took her sister's ashes with the frog and they set the frog free. He became a lovely prince. And guess who we ended with? Me. That's it. They lived happily ever after.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you're now joining us here, you have been listening to Player Dove take on the Princess and the Frog. Please, please, please make sure that we are favoring not only Player Dove, but all of the guests that are going to be sharing their stories today. Definitely make sure you're favoriting the top 3 supporters of the stream. And please make sure you favorite our judges when they pair afterwards. Player Dove, thank you so much for sharing your story. Please wait right back in the audience and let's see if you win on today's episode of Once Upon a Mejstory. Thank you
Thank you.
so much. All right, honey. Guys, welcome, welcome to Once Upon a Mejstory. This is a storytelling show every Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where storytellers gather around. Once they've been given a theme, they also create their own narrative based on the theme, and it is judged afterwards. So it's a little bit competitive. They're judged afterwards, and a winner is decided on at the end. So if you think you have what it takes to be a storyteller on our show, it's all for fun. Just gives you a chance to bring out a little bit of creativity. Please make sure that you're not only following me and getting hold of me, but you can reach out to any of my admins that are here in the stream. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our next storyteller. She goes by the name of Love, Peace, and Dream. Please make sure you're hitting her up with a favorite and join her streams whenever you see her go live. She's going to briefly introduce herself and she's going to give her take on the princess and the frog.
Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for inviting me here, Mesh. I'm very excited. It's my first time in here on Storytime. I am Love Peace Dream, or LPD as some people call me. I am a Canadian grandma of 4, and I am a writer too, so I write stories. But I have not yet written a fairy tale, so this was a good challenge for me. So here is my take on The Princess and the Frog, which also I love that story as well. Mine is called The Tree Sprite, though. So here we go. The sky was dark. There was no moon out tonight. The air was moist with fog as she quickly but light-footedly stepped her way through the marsh, every once in a while pausing to listen for the sound of hoofbeats behind her. Her long dark tresses had fallen from their pins ages ago and were now flying wildly behind her. She knew these marshes better than anyone else in the county, and if she could just make it to the comfort oak tree, she knew she could evade her pursuer. Ever since her father had suddenly and mysteriously passed away 6 months ago and left his estate to her, every old, crotchety landowner in the county was after her hand in marriage. A woman in 1642 could not own a property. She must wed to be able to keep it. But she would rather die than be tied to an old man for life. A few more bobs and weaves, and she could hide in the shelter of the roots of the comfort oak until he gave up. Her long skirt was now heavy with mud, and her kid leather boots were a mess, but she was safe in the folds of the roots of the huge oak that had been on her family's estate for hundreds of years. She sat down and tried to make herself even smaller than her already 5-foot frame. Her head in her lap, she closed her eyes and she listened. She could hear the hoofbeats in the distance and was still too nervous to leave the protection she had in her hiding place. As time passed, the ground was getting harder to sit on. She was getting cold and wanted to be able to go back home and sit by the heat of the fire in her father's study. Under her breath, she was cursing the name of John Catterall, the man who had literally been chasing her through the marsh. He owned the adjoining estate and was desperately wanted this one to increase his wealth. All of a sudden, Sarah sensed something in the air had changed. A gentle warmth, an odd feeling of calmness overtook her, and behind her closed eyelids, she saw a very bright light. She opened her eyes to see a golden pinprick of light that was floating in the air in front of her, kind of like a firefly, but much brighter. Eyes wide open now, Sarah stayed perfectly still, watching the golden little orb of light bounce to and fro. A whisper on the wind then carried her name. Sarah, Sarah. All of her senses now on heightened alert, she started to strain to listen. Surely it must be her imagination. Or was it the tree fairies? As soon as she thought it, and before her eyes, materialized the ugliest looking garden sprite that she could ever imagine. He had a bald head and huge pointy ears, hooded dark eyes, and he was less than a foot tall, probably about 2 feet around. He was naked, except for the dirt that he was covered in and some well-placed green moss. He smelled like the worst parts of the marsh that she had just run through. Horrified, Sarah backed up closer to the trunk of the tree and covered her nose and her mouth. The deepness in his voice startled her when he spoke. Sarah Smith, I do believe, he said as he bowed a little. The ancient tree fairies of the comfort maple have sent me to you. I've been granted the ability to help you out of your current situation with your family estate. Sarah was blinking quickly, trying to figure out if this was really happening or if she had fallen asleep and was dreaming. Opening her dry mouth, she stiffened her back and answered, I don't know who you are or where you came from or how you would think you could help me, but I don't need anybody's help, least of not from an ugly tree sprite. What I really need is to find a way to keep my family's estate from being pillaged and plundered by my greedy suitors. The sprite lifted a bushy eyebrow and said, Let me think on it for a moment. And a moment passed, and a great, big, ugly, toothless smile opened on his face. Raising a dirty finger up, he said, Eureka, I've got it. You need a male protector with whom to share and run this estate. I can be that. I know how to run an estate. I am financially astute. I can be your savior. Sarah's face screwed up and she looked indignantly at the ugly little sprite. She was starting to wonder if John Catterall's offer was better than having an ugly, smelly little wood sprite underfoot. I thank you for your offer, but I need a real man to present to the courts to stay them, and you definitely won't do. The sprite dropped his head into his greasy chest and let out a big sigh. Do you believe in fairies and tree sprites now that you've met one? Yes, she replied. Do you believe that they are old and wise and want to keep this estate in good health so they can stay here? He asked. Yes, that makes sense, she answered. I've been living on this one for the past 200 years, he said. He leaned forward and he said, Kiss me. All your problems will be solved at the touch of our lips. Of course, Sarah did not want to, but she was so desperate for help and looking for some magic to help her situation that she leaned forward and placed a kiss on his smelly, filthy lips. There was a bit of smoke and an odd tinkling sound, and she reopened her eyes. The ugly sprite was there, grinning at her. Did you really think a small kiss would turn me into a princess or something? He laughed. Try again, but this time give me some tongue. Sarah leaned forward and plugged her nose, and her soft pink lips pushed against the greasy fat ones of the sprite. Her tongue entered his mouth, and just as she started to taste the filth, the ground shook beneath her. Her body trembled and she felt very odd, like she was fainting. And when she awoke, all she could smell was the damp earth. She looked down and realized she had shrunken to a foot tall. She was naked and her clothes were all pulled around her. All she could hear was the laughter and knee slapping of the tree sprite, and his parting words as he ran away, saying never trust or kiss a tree sprite once, or let alone twice. Ah, welcome to the tree sprite family of the Comfort Oaks, Sarah, he laughed as he ran away. The end. Don't be kissing strangers.
Well done. Well done. If anyone is tuning in for the very first time, you have been listening to Love, Peace, and Dream. Give her take on the Princess on the Frog. Please make sure you hit her up with a favorite. LPD, why don't you just stay right back into the audience and await the judges' feedback at the end and see who they decided on as the winner for today's episode. Thank you so much, everyone. Please hit her up with a favorite. Thank you. Thank you to everyone. This is Once Upon a Mejstory, a storytelling show done every Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I am your host, Badge Mej. And if you'd like to be a storyteller on our show, please make sure that you are sending myself a message. There is Boricua Queen, Emoji J, or Lux. They're all streamers here on the app, and they are happy to get you sorted for one of our upcoming episodes. Ladies and gentlemen, please make sure you also favorite my top 3 supporters of the stream. At 4 o'clock, the top person will be declared either the Gold King or Queen, and they will get a 3-day name change. Well, not a name change, but their name behind mine for 3 days. Also a big shout out on IG. So please make sure that you are in it to win it. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, please welcome our next guest. Make sure you hit him up with a follow. He goes as Lotus the Seeker. He is going to briefly introduce himself to us, and then he's going to jump right into his tale of The Princess and the Frog.
All right. Wow, that's a tough one to follow, but I'll try. My name's Lotus. I'm 65 years old. My wife died a year ago, and I'm on streaming to meet new friends and just help people. But this is a great story, and I kind of went with the original, so I didn't know it's kind of my take, but so I'll go with it. So, once upon a time, there was a princess, and many men wanted to marry her, but they only looked at her in her crown and her dresses. And she would look at it and she goes, I wish someone would come by that would look at me for me. One day she went up, she said, I wish I was little again. And while she was thinking that, she found something that when she was a child made her happy. And it was her gold ball. So she started throwing her ball higher and higher and higher. She ran up the hill, threw it as high as she could. But when she tried to catch it, she tripped on a branch and it started rolling down the hill and it went into the pond. She couldn't find it. She was frantic. She goes, oh my God, where'd my ball go? All of a sudden, a frog came. Can I help you? Oh my God, yes. Can you? I lost my ball. Says, oh, I think I can help you with that. Says, but I have one wish. You must stay with me and keep me company. She goes, I don't understand. What do you mean by that? It says, just stay with me. She goes, all right then. Would you please get my ball? He says, sure, right away. So he went, he dove, and he looked, and he found, he came back, he found the ball. It says, here. So the princess grabbed it, and she went around, and she said, thank you. The frog said, wait a minute. Didn't you make me a promise? You made a promise that you'd stay with me. She goes, I already did. So she went back to the castle and they had a big dinner and she was with all her advisors. And they hear a big knock at the door. They come to the door, looks one right, looks to the left. There's no one at the door. He looks down. It's the frog. Frog says, the princess promised to stay with me. And here I am. The father goes, honey, did you ask this frog to stay with you? He says, I guess I did. Come on in. So the frog came in. And they sat at the table. They had to make an extra place, and everybody couldn't talk. And they were thinking, what do we say? What can we say to this frog? So then the princess goes, well, maybe. And the father goes, be quiet. I have enough advisors. The frog goes, maybe I can help. The princess has beauty within that shines outward that nobody sees. The princess was shocked and looked at him and goes, oh my God. So the frog says, well, I guess I've had the time here and I'm going to leave. So thank you for the visit. And the princess goes, wait a minute. Would you like to take a walk in the garden? Oh, I'd love that. So they took a walk in the garden and she actually talked to somebody and had a conversation. He goes, wow, this is not just a frog. And she grabbed him and gave him a kiss. And out pops a prince, a beautiful Swedish prince who had been given a spell a long time ago by an evil witch. He says, no one will ever kiss you. Well, they came, they lived together, they got married and started a big business and actually have 3 restaurants that they serve frog legs. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you so much to Lotus Seeker. If you are joining us here for the first time, you were just listening to Lotus the Seeker. Thank you so much for sharing your story. He just gave us his take on the princess and the frog. Thank you so much. If you just wait right back into the audience, and we're going to check to see if there's any additional guests before the judges get a chance to pop up and give their feedback on today's show. Thank you so much, Lotus.
Thank you.
Guys, make sure you hit them up with a favorite. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're joining us here for the first time, welcome to Once Upon a Mejstory. Every Saturday at 3 p.m., we have storytelling time. And this is a chance where storytellers are given a theme and they create a narrative surrounding that theme. And they can use backdrops, costumes, whatever they like to enhance their story because they're making it their own. And it's usually on a popular tale. After they've told their story, it is competitive, ladies and gentlemen. So our judges, some fan judges, they pop up and they give their feedback, their tips, because they have some criteria and critiques they're always looking for. Then they would give their take on what they've heard, and they decide on a winner of the episode. Our judges are some of the most amazing streamers, so please make sure that you're favoriting them. And one last thing, ladies and gentlemen, please make sure you're favoriting and following my top 3 supporters of the stream. It is Boss Badge Abibi, Tanny, and the beautiful top streamer, Murphy. Please make sure you favorite my top 3. Whoever is the top gifter at the end of my stream at 4 o'clock, when the episode ends, will become my gold king or queen. And they will have their name right beside mine for 1 to 3 days. And they'll also get a special shout out on IG, on social media as well. Ladies and gentlemen, I will double check to see if there's any additional guests. And looks like our episode storytellers are being completed. At this time, judges, please request the box. This is the part of our show, ladies and gentlemen, where our judges will now box up and they will give their take on everyone's story for the day. They'll give their feedback and offer some little tips and advice on what you can do based on the criteria they're looking for. So the next time you appear on the show, you can be even more prepared and come to win. Yes, come to win. Our first judge, please welcome Kitty Commander. She is a content creator here on the app. She is going to briefly introduce herself. She has a featured show on the app on Mondays at 9 p.m. It's Meow and Me. And she's going to briefly introduce herself and jump right into her feedback.
Well, okay. Thank you for having me again, Mej, as always. I had a little date before this with Baricua that I took her. Her and I had a little lunch together and I fed her food, But anyways, okay, that's who I am. Now onto our amazing storytellers. So, I'm used to Smurfy going first and telling everybody this, but so judges have a very strict criteria that we're looking at when we look at your stories. We're looking at your content with your narrative, and like is your plot, are your story, or is your characters, are they understandable? Like, do we know what's going on throughout your story? Can we follow it? Then we're also looking for props, costumes, things that add appeal to your story, that add to the story's narrative, not distracting away from the narrative, but adding that extra little something to increase what we see in your story. And then the last thing we look and judge on is dramatic appeal. Like, was there like use of like the screen, and was there a twist in the story? Are you using different types of expression, facial expressions, or props to add to your drama? Okay, so that's what we're doing. That's what we're judging. So, and we're trying to pay attention to so that we don't miss anybody's stuff throughout this whole process. So let's start off with Riot. Riot, I understood like this is a great story about Abigail, and in the story you seemed like you were really going to make the story just a little bit bigger. I felt like you were just gearing me up. I felt like you were like whispering in my ear, but I thought it was going to get into a hug, but it didn't. Like, I wanted more from you. I wanted more about Abigail, Riot. And so I would ask you to bring me more about her. Player Love, love that you had like a picture about the frogs, the princess's father, like with the lots of things. I frog. Oh snap. So I would have liked to see a little bit more around maybe why grandma was kissing the frog. I don't know. I was like, why is grandma doing it? What is happening right now? Grandma got out of pocket. Okay. Love, peace, and dream. I love your story. It's in the marsh. You've got a crotchety landowner, heavy on the crotchety. The toothless sprite, heavy on toothless, and the costume, the light effects, the sound effects throughout the story. And then the kiss that became the French kiss. that became the little that that became a whole like plot twist at the end. Okay, the whole story, I had a clear character of Sarah and John Catterall, the crotchety landowner, and then at the end, don't kiss strangers. I love a good, good point, good points. Well done, Love Peace Stream. It has a clear narrative, a clear moral of the story, really clear characters to follow. I loved your costume. I love the light. I love the sound effects. All in all, this was a really incredible story, and thank you for sharing it with all of us. And I know now not to kiss any toothless sprites that smell dirty and filthy. So I'm gonna be staying away from any of those kind of
Speak for yourself, sister. This is slim pickings, especially on this app. Speak for
toothless
yourself,
dirty
sister.
sprites are
Slim
not
pickings on
going.
this app.
Look, I don't know why Sarah went in for the second with the tongue, but whatever. Like, sometimes we think what's good for us the first time wasn't good. Let's try again. That's what's the moral of the
Me
story for
too.
me was don't go back to the things that didn't happen the first time for you. Don't try again. It's not going to work out better. And then Lotus, I think that's Lotus Flower, Lotus. I think that goes by Lotus.
Lotus Seeker. Lotus.
Lotus Seeker. I love that there's a kiss with the prince, and there's a Swedish a Swedish. I don't know. Do you have anything against Swedish people? Like this Swedish witch looked pretty haggard. And then there's some battle. There was a frog snake. I saw a frog snake. As well. Like I was like, is this a snake or a frog? What are we doing? So I was like, ooh, and there were sound effects. It was good. I liked that. And then I like at the end that there are now 3 restaurants that serve frog legs as well in that story. So the 3 restaurants, hooray, like they took it and made it a capitalistic adventure and made some money. And we like a good American dream story. So I'm here for that. I thought though, everybody did an amazing job. This is very hard to do. Getting up here, sharing any kind of a story at all is very difficult. You have to sit down, think, spend time. Thank you all for giving really good efforts, and thank you for following these guidelines and sharing it all with us here on the app. Okay. I have an auction tonight. Feel free to buy Kitty 5-day name change. That's also, I just got to plug that shamelessly. It's at 7:15, and it's roses only with Zoe. Okay, bye.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, please, I hope you have the beautiful Kitty Commander, content creator here on the app already. Favorite it, join her streams when you can. Now on for my next judge, a top badge from across the pond, my lovely sister, Zoe Essex, who is going to briefly introduce herself, and then she is going to give her feedback on today's storytelling guest.
Hello. Excuse the hair, by the way, because as Kitty just subtly mentioned, there's an auction going on after from 5 p.m. Eastern time tonight. So yeah, I'm sort of like in the process of getting ready. The hair's like, we're getting there. So yeah, we've got an auction later on tonight from 5 p.m. Eastern. It's rose gifts only, featuring some amazing people, including the lovely Kitty Commander. So swing on by for that afterwards. It would be great to see you. Tonight, what an amazing night. We've had another really good one, as always. We started off with Riot. I actually really enjoyed this story. We had Abigail in New York. I like how the frog turned into the princess. So there was a few twists in here which I really enjoyed. I like that the frog was the princess. I like in the end she gave her the necklace, which she could then use for 3 wishes, which she used to help people. There was lots of nice little morals to the story in there. And I really, really enjoyed the fact that you also went for a story of friendship rather than romance which was a really another really nice take on the story. So I really, really enjoyed that. Obviously, you know, we would have liked to have seen more in the way of props and music and all of the other elements that we are looking for when we are scoring you guys. But the actual story itself, I really, really enjoyed, and I liked your take on it. Player Dove. I enjoyed your story. I liked that you had your little your props and your pictures and things. I was quite intrigued at the beginning when we had you set the scene well with the two sisters by the river. They find a frog, but then I must admit it started to go a bit which way, and I kind of got a little bit lost as I was taking down notes. I was so the father wanted to eat the frog, cook the frog, and I'm writing down notes, and then before I know it, I looked up, and the next thing, somebody I think bumped their head, and then there was the ashes, and I got a little bit lost. but I enjoyed the fact that you incorporated some props and things. It was an interesting take, so well done to you. Then we came on to Love, Peace and Dream. Well, I mean, if anybody was ever going to like do teach people how to do story time, come to this girl. She was amazing. We had the outfit, we had the backdrop, we had the story was amazing, we had lighting effects, we had sound effects, we had props, we had everything. I was just so impressed, and I was really following the story, and I must admit, you fooled me. I was following your journey with the I forgot what it was called, the weird gremlin thing, the tree sprite. That's the one. Yeah. And I was convinced. I was convinced that she was going to get to the end. She was going to kiss it, and then all of her dreams was going to come true, and it was all going to be wonderful. You fooled me, girl. You did. My God. Yes, she kissed it. Then she turned into the frog. And I'm like, oh my God. I am never, ever going to kiss anyone ever again, because you can't trust anyone. Brilliant. I really, really enjoyed it. I thought that was amazing. Honestly, I can't find any way of anything to critique there, because you smashed it. And then we come on to Lotus at the end there. I really loved that. I found I really warmed to you. I liked that you prepared your story and you had nice use of props and sound effects, which was nice. I didn't actually see that coming. I was expecting to hear story time. I wasn't expecting that. So I really appreciate that you actually did think to bring all of that into it. I think you had good pacing. It wasn't rushed or anything like that. And I enjoyed your little twist at the end there with when they went off and got married and opened the restaurants with the frog legs and everything. So I enjoyed your story, and I really appreciated your effort. I thought everybody done really, really well tonight, and thank you so much. I'm going to go and consult with the judges. Thank you.
This is going to be an interesting little convo in the judges' chambers. I like to say the judges' chambers. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're tuning in for the first time, we are now during our deliberations. Here's where the judges are boxing up and giving their feedback on the storytellers who have told their stories, spun their narratives earlier. And welcome to our final guest. It's Top Badge Smurfy. But before we do, ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to our take on amazing stories of The Princess and the Frog. Welcome to Once Upon a Mejstory. Please make sure that you are favoriting my top 3 supporters of the stream. At 4 o'clock on the dot, we will be declaring a gold king or gold queen. So make sure you're the top of the stream at 4 o'clock for that special shout out. You'll have your name right next to mine for a couple of days. Also, you'll get a shout out on IG. Now, for my another sister from across the pond, the beautiful Smurfy, an amazing content creator. She has a show right after mine. So when you leave, jump right over to hers. She's going to briefly introduce herself, and then she's going to jump right into her take on the stories today.
Thank you, Mej. I am Smurfy. I'm a top badge on Plenty of Fish. I have a feature show, like Mej says, directly after this. So please favorite me and come through. If you want to be on the show, hit me up on IG. Firstly, I want to thank Mej. You always look amazing all week, but in particular on your feature show. I love it. And to the admins that you have as well. They do so much behind the scenes that I don't think everyone truly realizes, and the flyers that are made and the effort that's put in. So shout out to you and your admins. Congratulations to everybody. I think the creativity each week, it just surpasses the week before. So well done to everyone. I absolutely love it. In addition to what Kitty said about what we score against, I personally particularly like when Mej is included in the stories. I always find that really exciting. It just shows some more of the creativity, but I shall get into it because I know we're pressed on time. So Riot was first. Whenever Riot reads a story, he's very descriptive in his reading. So it's like you can visualize the story as he's reading it, which I really, really enjoy. We had Abigail, who took the frog home, and then the princess was trapped by the witch. She was freed and given the 3 wishes. But I loved, like Zoe said, the moral of the story about the wishes were used to then help people and help the world. And then they stayed friends after that. So I really enjoyed that. I could have done with a little longer, if I'm honest, but that's just my own personal thing. I would have loved to see if the story could have developed a little bit more, but I loved it overall. Player Dove was next. I think I followed the story on this. You looked amazing, by the way, and I love your voice. I love you anyway, but I loved your voice. But we had kind of the setup, the props, the background, the books, the picture, the globe, the catching of the frog to eat, and then the grandmother had to kiss it due to the accident that I think the sister had. And then the prince emerged, and that's how eventually Dove was born and created. So I really, really liked that. I do feel the same. I would have liked it to be a little bit longer. It kind of ended quite abruptly, and I feel like sometimes that's because people are nervous, understandably so. But I could listen to you all day. Your voice is amazing, so I really could listen to you all day. Love, Peace, Dream. This kind of ticks all the boxes in honesty. You had the backdrop, and the outfit was everything. It was very much given 1600s, which is where your story was based. We had the tree sprite, very descriptive as well in how you read things. It was almost like you said things like Sarah was moving quickly and light-footedly, so it really made us vision the story that you were telling. The mysterious passing of the father, everybody wanted a hand in marriage, the oak tree and the description of how you described the oak tree protecting her. I really enjoyed that as well. I thought it was really great the way you'd done it. We had the sound effects with the horse, the orb and the light and the whisper and the wind, again, just highlighting the descriptiveness and how you read. And how ugly the bald-headed, shout out to bald-headed men. We do love a bald-headed man, but, not the hooded eyes and the smell potentially. But I could have imagined how he looked. And then you had kind of the ugly sprite versus John, and which one was she going to pick? And she ended up kissing him twice. We've all been there. We've all given an ugly man more chances than we should have. But it wasn't a happy ending, but it was a interesting moral to the story and the descriptiveness in where you told it. And then last but no means least was Lotus the Seeker. So with the princess who everyone again wanted to marry, the promise with the frog, you had the sound effects, the props, the ball, the frog. It was super, super fun and I think engaging. They set the extra place for the frog at the mill, who was a little bit rude. I don't know if anyone picked up on that. The frog was quite rude. Then they went for a walk together, they kissed, then the Swedish prince emerged, and then they got married and became entrepreneurs. Hello. I love an entrepreneur. That's what my show is about right after this one. I feel like that segue was wonderful into my show. So shout out to everybody. Amazing job. We will reconvene and come back shortly. Not us physically, but, Mej will relay what we said. Thank you, Mej. I love you.
I love you. Guys, you have been listening to one of the judges, a top badge, a top streamer here on the app. Her show is right after mine. It's a featured show, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, she's a content creator similar to Kitty Commander. So please make sure you're favoriting all of my judges. Top badge, Zoe Essex, Kitty Commander for top badge, and definitely top badge, Smurfy. Ladies and gentlemen, as they are deliberating in the judges' chamber, I will just give a quick shout out to my top 3 supporters of the stream. It is Boss Badge Abibi, Tanny, and Top Badge Smurfy, my top 3. Please make sure you're hitting them up with a favorite. Always remember we should be acknowledging and appreciating our supporters of the stream. They're the ones who keep us lit and going and able to create all these amazing, amazing, amazing content. So please make sure that we are acknowledging people who support streams. Ladies and gentlemen, at 4 o'clock, we will be deciding on a gold king or queen, and their name will be next to mine, similar to what you see right now for a couple of days. They will also get a shout out on IG, so a chance for people to favorite you and see all the amazing things that you're doing as far as supporting streamers on the app. And last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, if you do not have me already favorited, please make sure you hit that star. I am Top Badge Mej. And every Saturday, ladies and gentlemen, 3 p.m. Eastern, we have storytelling time. Yes, we do. Storytelling time, 3 p.m. Eastern. And if you think you have what it takes to be a storyteller on the show, all you have to do is simply reach out to one of the admins or to myself and let me know. We will get you into the group chat and we'll get you all set for our next show. Thank you to everyone. I appreciate you. And oh, we just got a new, I believe that Solo is our new gold king. If he holds on to that spot for the next 6 minutes, Solo will be our gold king. Thank you so much for the stream. I'm going to take a quick little look. Thank you, Ange. I'm going to take a quick little look into the judges' little room and see what tomfoolery is going on. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I think that they have come to a decision. It seems I'm just getting rave. I heard landslide win this week. Take it what you may. All of the storytellers at this time, please request the box. All of the storytellers, even if, and a couple of notes, even if you are not the episode winner for today, please stay in touch with us. You can come back. If you're not the winner, you can come back on a future show. You can use some of the tips and guidance from the judges. Come back, spin your craft, and you can eventually be a winner here on the show. And also, I will be boxing all of the storytellers. Here's your last chance to tell us a little bit more about yourself, anything that you'd like to plug, any show, any activities you're in. Use the time that we have featured. We have 600 people been in and out of the streams. Here's your chance to just say a little bit more. Catfish Billy. Okay, here we go. And did Riot already leave? Okay, as we were waiting for Riot, I know he didn't take off. He still has to drop his new gift. He's about to have me saying some stuff, but to go troll him. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I believe we have a winner. Drum roll. Big congratulations goes out to, you want me to see me troll him? I want to see the two. Drum, 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 da-da-da-dum, da-da-da-dum. Who is the winner for episode 6 on season 3? A big congratulations goes out to Love, Peace, Dream. Congratulations. You are the winner of the episode. Everyone, please make sure that they are following this lovely lady Well done, my
Yay! Thank you so much.
Asians. Everyone, please make sure you hit up or follow. If you have anything you'd like to say, anything you'd like to plug, please tell us a little bit about you. And congratulations.
Thank you very, very much. Thank you, Mesh, for bringing me here. I am so happy to be able to be featured and to be challenged to write something I don't normally write. I am a writer. I do write adult stories and I read them on a different platform. But nothing like this. This really did challenge me. Thank goodness for my grandkids and their storybooks for my props. And my sounds and everything. Thank you to the judges for the feedback. It's so nice to hear when you're doing something original like that, the feedback on it. I read stories every single week and I don't get such feedback, which is lovely to have. So I appreciate everything that you did for that. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate
Guys,
it.
please make sure you hit her up with her favorite. I know she's on other places because she's just a busy lady. But we love to have her here on our stream platform. So welcome to our platform, and we hope to see a lot more of you. Stay in touch with us. We also have, for the final episode of the season, we have all of the winners compete against each other for the grand title of champion of Mejstory. So please make sure you stay in touch with us. All right, guys, make sure that you're following her. And we're going to welcome to the box Lotus. We're also going to welcome Player, Dove. Oh, where is it? Add. And I don't see Top Badge Riot. So, guys, please go ahead, plug what this is. Use your limelight. Plug whatever you'd like to plug. Anything you guys are in.
So again, I'm Player Dove. I want to thank everybody that came to support everyone here. Congratulations, Love Peace Dream. I love hearing other writers. I got nervous and was like, I'm booking it out of here. I'm sweating bullets, honestly. But the only thing I want to say, other than I have a battle this evening at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so come see me in my stream, Love Gifts Only. It's for everybody on the app to please be nicer to each other. That's all I got to say. With everybody in here, please, in these randoms, please be nicer to each other. Just flip the camera around. Don't say nothing. Just please stop all the mess. And that's it.
Thank you.
Lotus. That was fun. I wasn't ready. Asked me at the last minute, so I kind of winged it, and I was kind of worried because after I heard Love's thing, I said, I'm out. That how could I even compete with that? But the store, I have to thank her because she supplied all the props. I was gonna do Snoop Dogg and have her come up.
Now
and
there she comes.
But I want to say this is the real princess.
Oh, thank you, honey.
Thank you.
Guys, thank you to everyone for being on my show today. And there seems to be a battle for my Gold King of the stream. So at this time, I'm just going to exit everyone and I will then declare who is my Gold King. And I think it's between, congratulations against LPD. It looks like it's 4:01. The Gold King of the stream is that Poser? It is B the Poser. Thank you, thank you, thank you. B, please send me your photo. You get a few days of being the Gold King up in my name, as well as I'll give you a shout out on IG. Please send me your photo. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you, my love. Kenny, thank you. Guys, if anyone would like to be a storyteller on my show, please make sure that you're reaching out to myself or any of my admins and we can get you on the show. We give you the themes in advance, so we give you the stories. You just have to create a narrative in your own style, in your own way, putting your own spin on it, and using things like a backdrop, using a costume, creative style in telling your narration of the story, and anything you can do to enhance it, because it is judged. We have 3 lovely judges, Kitty Commander, Top Badge Zoe SX, Top Badge Smurfy. They are the judges here on the show. They will box up and then they declare a winner. Mesh, can I? Yes. one hot chocolate, and it better not be me you're looking to plug. If you got something to plug, but it's not me. Oh, okay. I thought you're, yeah, okay. Feature show, feature show. Let's keep it. Let's keep it loud. Keep it PG. Does it involve that deep voice? I hope so. Cowboy, thank you so much. Guys, if you do not have me already favorited, please make sure you hit that star. My name, it is Mesh, and every Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we will be having our magnificent storytellers box up and give their spin on stories. Mamba, hello. Player Dove, please stay in touch with us. You had a really good, I mean, everyone had a brilliant story. So please make sure you guys are staying in touch with us, and that you do stay in touch with the admins so we can be on another show. Do we still have some feature time? Are we still featured? I got some story. Yeah, not your kind of 12 more minutes. I thought they were cutting it. Oh, never mind. Yeah. Here's a story you'd like to see, Catfish Billy. Why don't you try spinning some wheels? Maybe you'll get to level 61 and it can get your teal ring. That's a story I'd like to see and be a part of, spinning. Press button, go crazy. That can be your story here on my show. On Measures featured show, I hit the teal ring. And go. It's not too much, not for you. You're a big boss. Guys, please favorite Be the Poser. Please also favorite Solo, Southside. Please also favorite Abibi. Definitely favorite my top 3 of the streams, ladies and gentlemen. All right, what else? Anybody have any shows or anything that they would like to, that I can help promote? Anybody? Anyone has anything favorite? Boy, you just said you can't support a stream. Why would they want to favorite you? I think I just took my favorite back. You think you might lose favorites. Thank you, Player Dove. Yeah, Player Dove is in a battle at 7 o'clock tonight. So if you liked her story, you like what she had to say about, you know, spreading positivity and just being an amazing human, please go support her in her verses later this evening. It's at 7 o'clock tonight. It's a Royale. Tonka, thank you. Thank you for the favorite. Damn, oh, not the me, Jay. Boy, you get kicked for saying stuff like that. Gone to that crazy place in your head. You about to go to that crazy place in your head, sir. Hi, Tonka. I do love you. Wait, shoot, before they do get a little crazy on your ass. My day's going well, Angel. My day's going great. We are just looking to promote anything else anyone has. Okay, also on Mondays, I have a musical talent showcase Monday at 9 p.m. if you guys want to tune in. Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I have a musical talent showcase. It's a love tribute. Please make sure that you pop in and see me. Okay, there is also something sponsored by Kitty Commander. Is it sponsored by you, Kitty? All for Love tonight from 9 to 10:30 p.m. Eastern. Please make sure you favorite one of my judges and one of my friends, Kitty Commander. She has an event, All for Love, between 9 to 10:30 p.m. Eastern tonight. Please go show up. I believe it's something to do with getting a chance to shout out anyone that means something to you, whatever type of love that is. Love is love. Billy, put it back in your pants. Okay, so she has she's going to tell us about it.
Oh, yeah. So that's exactly what it is. It's going to be like, it's like 30 different streamers. They're all different kinds across the app. Each person is just going to take a battle time and they're going to shout out all the things they love about either streaming on the app or people that mean something to them on the app,
Right.
people that they love and adore, and probably don't get a chance to tell them enough how much they appreciate them. So it's called All for Love because that's all it is. It's just about showing love to people during that time slot, just as like a scheduled time. So if you see your favorite streamer on the list, you might want to show up because I'm guessing you're probably going to get shouted out. If you're one of those people that is in their streams all the time and stuff like that. I mean, I'm just saying that my time slot is like at 10:30 at the end, and maybe Mej will get called out. I'm just saying, like, there's a potential that Mej's name will be dropped during the love shout outs. So make sure, I mean, you pick your guys' favorites, and it should be fun. It's all about good positive energy, positive vibes, and stuff like that. You want to be like, man,
He calls me
listen,
Jay.
you're gonna have to fight, and I have better hair. Okay, I'm gonna let you're not get in line. So you shouted Mej's name last night. Yeah, I see what's going on here, Moon. Okay, the little luscious loud.
Monikins, I believe you just made it off of Kitty's list. By saying
Yeah,
that, you may have made it off. She's there scratching his name off. Okay, there's one less
well, he
person.
was gonna get mentioned, but not anymore. So he's talking about shouting Mej's name in the middle of the night. But yeah, it's gonna be fun. I don't know. It's gonna be a little different. There's a lot of battles, and there's a lot of events coming across the app tonight with a lot of people,
Right.
all throughout the
A lot of
night.
auctions.
This is Yeah, and this is definitely later on in the evening. It's at 9 o'clock, so it's after a lot of the auctions have already started and stuff too. So, it should be a really good time just to kick back in here and see some positive things. If you're feeling down, this might be a good place for you to land, just to get a little like boost of kindness and inspiration, because it should be all positive vibes. It should be all positive things. So
Right.
yeah,
I don't
Billy,
think so, Billy. Not maybe
Billy,
your
you're gonna need to
catfish will
draw the
get called out.
dragon.
So I think Billy does have a catfish. I think that's his pet.
Oh,
So he might want to
eats
be on
it,
your
or
show.
he wants-
I think he might be on your guys. Kitty does have a featured show, Meow and Me. So if anyone would like to be on her show, please make sure they are twins. Oh God, Billy.
Right? Can we make them icy dragons then? Can we make? Let's
Can the
like,
twins that we see when you be on the show,
oh,
can there be two ICs?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I like it. All right, we got 4 more minutes. Anybody else wants to promote anything? Thank you, X-Ray. Anyone else wants to promote anything that they're involved in? I feel so dark. Oh my God. I don't have my damn light on. I don't want to make a difference. Anyone has, well, you see the way the way your bank has always been set up has been in the minus. It's always been like that. Caress me down. Thank you, love. How it's been set up, it's always been like, I've never been bored. Or just when you hit my room, it just like, there's like an allergic reaction. It's like, can't do it. All right, we got 3 more minutes. My hand's cramped. Not only that, Billy, I promise, it's not only your hands. All right. Anybody else has anything they want to promote? Come on, we got like 700 people in here or been in and out. If anyone has something, this is why I love you, Mage. Oh, for fuck's sakes. You'll never give that a rest with the EJ. Okay, who else?